Hello and welcome to a Bible study with me. Today we'll be continuing our series on the study of the book of Genesis, and we'll be studying in particular chapters 32 and 33. Let's dive in. Verse 1 of chapter 32. So Jacob went on his way, and the angels of the Lord met him. And when Jacob saw them, he said, "This is God's camp." And he called the name of the place Mahanaim. Okay, which means camp of the Lord. Anyway, then Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau his brother in the land of Seir, the country of Edom, and he commanded them, saying, Speak thus to my lord Esau. Thus your servant Jacob says, I have dwelt with Laban and stayed there until now. I have oxen, donkeys, flocks, male and female servants, and I have sent to tell my lord that I may find favor in your sight. Verse 6. Then the messengers returned to Jacob, saying, We came to your brother Esau, and he also is coming to meet you, and 400 men are with him. So Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed, and he divided the people that were with him, and the flocks and the heads and camels into two companies. And he said, If Esau comes to the one company and attacks it, then the other company which is left will escape. And Jacob said, O God of my father Abraham, and O God of my father Isaac, the Lord who said to me, Return to your country and to your family. I will deal well with you. I am not worthy of the least of all the mercies and of all the truth which you have shown your servant. For I have crossed over this Jordan with my staff, and now I have become two companies. Deliver me, I pray, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau. For I fear him, lest he come and attack me and the mother with the children. For you said, I will surely treat you well and make your descendants as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude. So he lodged there that same night and took what came to his hand as a present for his brother. So he lodged there that night and took what came to his hand as a present for Esau his brother, 200 female goats and 20 male goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams. That's a lot. How many did they have? 30 milk camels with their colts, 40 cows and 10 bulls, 20 female donkeys and 10 fowls. Foals, don't know what they are. Then he delivered them to the hands of his servants, passed over before me and put some distance between successive droves. And he commanded the first one, saying, When Esau, my brother, meets you and asks, saying, To whom do you belong and where are you going? Whose are these in front of you? Then you shall say, They are your servant Jacob. It is a present sent to my lord Esau, and behold, he is also behind us. So he commanded the second and the third, all who followed the drove, saying, In this manner you shall speak to Esau when you find him. And also say, Behold, your servant Jacob is behind us. For he said, I will appease him with the present that goes before me, and afterward I will see his face, for perhaps he will accept me. So the present went on before him, and he lodged that night in the camp. Jacob has always been smart and cunning, one can. But yeah, we see. Oops. Yeah, we see how smart he was. Sorry about that. Yeah, we see how smart he was. He knew his brother was coming. He first sent his servants to tell his brother that I'm coming, or don't kill me, practically. And the servants came to tell him that, okay, your brother is coming as well. All right, fine. He was like, okay, since his brother is coming, he also told him his brother is coming with 400 men. He started becoming afraid. Like, oh, this boy's going to definitely kill me. So he divided his company, people that are with him. He divided the servants and the whatever that were following him. He put some in front, put some behind. I was like, before he will come and destroy everyone in the front, those that force are at the back, we can escape. That was the first strategy. Then the next strategy, he divided all of them into different groups with presents. And he says, anytime my brother is passing you, you tell him, this were your servants, so we are a servant to your servant, Jacob. Jacob is your servant, something like that. And we are his servants. And all this is for you, all this present is for you. Um, Jacob is behind us. He will go to the next uh, camp or whatever. The same thing will be repeated like that until it gets to Jacob. Jacob's plan was before he goes through all of them, his anger from me would have subsided with all these presents in front of him. That was pretty smart. If I was more angry and somebody does that, I may not be that angry anymore when I finally see him. Or maybe I'll be angrier. I don't know. Verse 22. And he arose that night and took his 2 wives, his 2 female servants, and his 11 sons, and crossed. What about his daughter? And crossed. Yeah, what about it? Oh, okay, yeah. Anyway, and crossed over the ford of Jabbok. He took them, sent them over the brook, and sent over what he had. Then Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him until the breaking of day. And when he saw that he did not prevail against him, he touched the socket of his hip, and the socket of Jacob's hip was out of joint as he wrestled with him. And he said, let me go, for the day breaks. But he said, I will not let you go unless you bless me. So he said to him, what is your name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, your name shall no longer be Jacob, but Israel. For you have struggled with God and with man, and have prevailed. Then Jacob said, asking, tell me your name, I pray. And he said, why is it that you ask about my name? And he blessed him there. So Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, whatever that one means. Face of God, I think it means. Obviously, he says this in the next phrase. So he called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. Verse 31. Just as he crossed over Peniel, or Penuel, the sun rose on him and he limped on his hip. Therefore, to this day, the children of Israel do not eat the morsel that shrank, which is on the hip junket. Sorry. So Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. Just as he crossed over Peniel, then the sun rose on him, and he limped on his hip. Therefore, to this day, the children of Israel do not eat the morsel that shrank, which is on the hip socket, because he touched the socket of Jacob's hip in the morsel that shrank. Okay. All right. I don't know what that hip. Is this not hip? Where's the hip socket? Where's the morsel that shrank here in the hip? I was imagining ankle when we were talking, but I'm now realizing hip is here. Anyway, it says, the after the separation and everything, Jacob also separated his family, took them to safety, and he now stood alone to wait for Esau, right, overnight. In the night, while he was waiting for Esau, he wrestled with a man. He didn't even know who the man was, but he was wrestling all throughout the night with the man. And when the man saw that he was not winning the fight against Jacob, the man touched Jacob's hip, the socket of his hip, which I don't know where it is right now as I'm talking to you. I can try and find that later on my own study. But anyway, he touched the socket of his hip, and that place became dislocated or disjointed or out of place. So Jacob was obviously not as strong as he was before. And he held onto his leg. And the man was like, leave me, let me go. I was like, no, I will not let you go unless you bless me. Smart as he is. And The man asked him, "What is your name?" He said, "My name is Jacob." The man said, "No, not anymore. Your name is no longer Jacob. From now on, your name is Israel," which is beautiful. And he was now asking the man, "Okay, you tell me your name as well." Maybe he wants to change the man's name, I guess. But anyway, the man did not tell him, but the man blessed him. And when the man left, he named the name of the place Peniel, which means I have seen the face of God, or which means God's face of God. And because of this incident, up to this day, according to what I'm reading here, the children of Israel do not eat the muzzle that shrank from the hip. I don't know where that muzzle is, but that's what it says there. I will try and find out what it is because I'm sure I ate the muzzle that shrank. God help me. Anyway, I'm just kidding around. But that's chapter 32. Let's quickly go to 33. Now Jacob lifted his eyes and looked, and there Esau was coming, and with him were 400 men. So he divided the children among Leah, Rachel, and the two maidservants, and he put the maidservants and their children in front. I thought he put the children like in safety or something. What am I reading here? Look at this boy. Look at this man. Leah and her children behind, and Rachel and Joseph last. Oh my God. Then he crossed over before them and bowed himself to the ground 7 times until he came near to his brother. He was exaggerating. And Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept. And he lifted his eyes and he saw the women and children. Okay, maybe they were far away and in safety. Anyway, and saw the women and children, and he said, "Who are these with you?" And he said, "The children whom God has graciously given your servant." He was just calling himself servant, everything with maths. After you have stolen your birthright, and you call yourself servant, you think that's the end of it. Then the maid servants came near, and they and their children also bowed down, and Leah also came near with her children, and they bowed down. Afterward, Joseph and Rachel came near, and they bowed down. Then Esau said, "What do you mean by all this company which I have met?" And he said, "These are to find favor in the sight of my Lord." And Esau said, "I have enough, my brother. Keep what you have for yourself." And Jacob said, "No, please, if I have now found favor in your sight, then receive my present from my hand. Inasmuch as I have seen your face, as though I have seen the face of God, my blessing is brought to you, because God has dealt graciously with me, and because I have enough." So he urged him, and he took it. Then Esau said, "Let us take our journey, let us go, I will go before you." But Jacob said to him, "My Lord knows that the children are weak, and the flocks and the herds that are nursing with me. If the men should drive them hard one day, all the flock will die. Please let my Lord go on ahead before his servant. I will lead on slowly at a pace with the livestock that go before me, and the children are able to endure until I come to my Lord in Seir." Now, and Esau said, "Now let me live with some of your people. No, let me live with you, some of the people who are with me." But he said, "What need is there? Let me find favor in the sight of the Lord." So Esau returned that day on his way to Seir. And Jacob, I don't understand Jacob. And Jacob and Jacob journeyed to Sukkot, built himself a house, and made broods for his livestock. Therefore, the name of the place is called Sukkot. All right. Verse 18. Then Jacob came safely to the city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, when he came from Padan Aram, and he pitched his tent before the city. And he brought the parcel of land, he bought it, where he pitched his tent, from the children of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of money. And there he erected an altar and called it El Elhor Israel, which means God the Lord of Israel, or something like that. And that's the end of the chapter. It's self-explanatory. We see Esau finally meeting Jacob after the many divisions. There was no anger or strife in his heart. He went on to him, he kissed his brother, hugged him, and they cried. After 20 years, come on, it's obvious now I might have forgotten the issue that they had or the strife that they had. But anyway, He initially refused the gifts that Jacob was trying to give him, the 200 of this and the 200 of that, and the many livestock and all that. But Jacob begged him to receive it and said, please, please, please. He finally did. And was like, okay, let's go together. Come on, let's go to. He introduced him to his family. Who are all these? These are my sons, these are my wives, these are my blah, 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 blah. Okay, it was like, okay, fine, let's go, let's leave here, let's go to see her. Come with me. And Jacob was like, no, no, the children are tired, my family is tired, everybody's tired, the livestock, if we travel any further, they will die. It was like, okay, let me leave some, I have 400 able men with me. Let me leave some of the men with you. You understand? Jacob was like, no, there's no need, don't worry, we're fine. Esau was like, okay, so don't worry, you go ahead, we'll come and meet you in so and so land, Seir. Esau went to the Seir. From that point to now, I didn't see Jacob going to the sea. I don't know because I read now that Jacob sojourned to Sukkot, built himself a house, and feeding for the livestock can stay and feed. He built it for them. What will take how many journey to go to the sea? I will try and find out the sea where he was at that moment. The sea. How long will it take him to get to sea? Where he finally went to visit the Sukkot and the Canaan, and how I did not go to the Sukkah because it's not adding up to me. I'm feeling he's being deceitful. He don't want to. He's still afraid that maybe the Esau will change his mind and kill him at the end of the day. But he was smartly rejected the offer to go with his brother. Anyway, he didn't go to Sia, at least not except Sukkot and Shechem is in Sia or one or other. I don't know. I'm not certain he went. At least up to this point. Maybe as we read further, we will see it clearer. But anyway, he didn't go. He went to Canaan, to Shechem, bought a land there, and that's where he stayed. He erected an altar and called it El Elhul, El Elhu, Elohi, El Elohi, Israel, which is the God of Israel. Anyway, that is the reading for today. May the Lord bless His word in our heart. May He give us wisdom to understand and knowledge to guide our path in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you so much for joining me today. See you next time.